a lineup, and Andrew's been speaking on the press conference, so talk us through the injuries.
Yeah, obviously there's no injured players who are going to be back. He actually said, apart from Son, none of the injuries are going to be seen before the new year. So all the ones you see on screen now, Perisic, Solomon, Sessegnon, Van de Ven, Maddison, Bentancur, Dyer, all definitely out until the new year. Now, Son is a doubt. You will saw the pictures after the game against West Ham. Nothing to suggest just yet he's definitely out, but
nothing suggests he's definitely in.
Nothing suggests definitely in. Was a wait and see job. He's just a doubt. Son himself said after the West Ham game he's fine. So if we take his word for it, hopefully he's okay. We also heard he's still struggling to walk after the game. So that would suggest that he's going to struggle to make it on Sunday. There's a lot of conflicting reports, but we're just going to hope that he's available based on what Son was saying and how he looked after the game. He was walking okay. So, and he also did the post-match interviews and stuff, didn't he? So hopefully he's okay.
Do you buy that Eric Dyer is injured at the moment?
Do I buy that he's injured?
I'm not sure if I do, because he comes in against Wolves, he starts the game, gets left out the squad with a supposed injury in the next game where everyone says, I'll just take him out the team. And I think Ange would have seen that as well. And now suddenly he's got this long injury.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't buy it.
Yeah, you might have a point.
But let's get into the predicted lineup. 4-3-3 formation as per usual. And obviously is going to be Venom in goal.
Yeah, going to be big him. If you remember, cast your mind back to last season, it was one of Hugo's many errors from last season that cost us a result against Newcastle at home, rushing out of goal and giving the goal to Callum Wilson. So hopefully...
That was his last game for Spurs, wasn't it, Lloris?
The 6-1 was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that when he went off at half-time. I'm saying the home game.
Oh, right.
He came out and then Wilson fouled him and then he put it in the empty net, didn't he? So Vicario is going to have to avoid any situations like that, but obviously he starts. Next
up on the right-hand side, Pedro Porro. And I feel like it could be a really big game for Pedro this weekend.
It's like the battle of the creative right-backs, isn't it? Trippier up against Porro.
To be fair, I did say Porro, I think, has been the best right-back of the league so far, but I actually think Trippier just trumps him a bit.
Albeit Trippier maybe first few games of the season wasn't at his level, but recently he's definitely been back, apart from yesterday, of course. I thought Porro was, again, really good against West Ham, and we're going to need him at his creative best in this one because Newcastle, they can defend every bit as good as West Ham if they want to. So
true. Moving on to the right centre-back, obviously Cuti Romero. It was great to have him back yesterday, albeit we didn't win the game, but I don't think that takes much away from Romero's performance.
Yeah, I think he had a really strong performance, actually. And I actually think defensively, as I said before, we actually weren't bad. You'll probably look at the goals we conceded and think our defence was a shit show, but it wasn't quite that. And I think Romero was a big part of that. But it's going to be a different challenge. Obviously, Gordon is in good form. Isaac is a handful. So let's hope Romero can keep him quiet.
Yeah. On the left-hand side, Ben Davies, a different kind of set of problems for Ben Davies this weekend. I felt like he did struggle a bit in the second half with the aerial ability that West Ham did show, which was a problem that I thought coming into the game. But it's a different set of problems this weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, look, Isaac's physical. I think he's going to be a bigger challenge in a weird way than I think what the West Ham players provided. Even though they're also fast and Kudus is quite strong, I think Isaac uses physicality a bit better. So if Isaac can isolate Davis, I do worry for him. Obviously, he's got Almiron cutting inside that side as well. I think by and large against West Ham, he was good, but I felt like he did struggle late in the game. But let's hope he plays like he did in the first half against West Ham, because I thought he played really well in that period.
To make up that back four on the left-hand side is obviously going to be Destiny, Udogie. Destiny's got a lot of making up to do. Look, he had a strong game, especially in that first half yesterday, but you cannot account or forgive that pass back that he did for Jared Bowen. So I want to see a really strong showing from Destiny Udogie and show that mentality where if you make a mistake, I'm going to make it better. And I want to see that from him this weekend.
Yeah, and that's not even a mistake you can put down to like Basuma's against City, where that's a mistake where you can rationalise it and say, oh, he was just trying something and is what it is. Like, that's just a lazy mistake. That's just terrible. So he's definitely going to want to put that right. We know he's a young player who's got so much potential and he's played at a really good level this season. It's going to be a difficult game. I think he's one yellow now. Did he get booked last game? I think he's one. I thought
he's one away.
He's one away. So he's one away from a suspension. So could happen in this game against a Newcastle team who I know are probably going to want to get under his skin. Probably
Especially him up against Trippier.
Trippier and Almiron as well. Two players can be difficult to deal with.
Bruno Guimaraes, Joe Linton in the middle as well.
Yeah, 100%. So could be a difficult day for him, but let's hope he comes out on top.
So let's run through the back line with you guys one more time, exactly the same as it was against West Ham. Vicario in goal, Porro right back, Udogie left back, Romero and Ben Davis in the centre-back positions. In the number 6, we're going to look at Yves Bissouma again. Was a slightly improved performance in my opinion, but still nowhere near what we have been accustomed to seeing at the early part of the season from Bissouma.
Yeah, I want to see more from him for sure. I think it was good in the first half, actually, against West Ham. I actually liked his performance, but then second half, again, it just became a bit sloppy and a bit imprecise. And again, against Newcastle, he's going to have some real aggressive midfielders and big quality with Bruno Guimaraes in there. So I just want to see him get back to his levels, but something's clearly off at the moment with Bissouma because we keep saying it every week. I want to see him get back to his levels, but he hasn't just quite made that leap yet. So I don't know what's going on with him, but I just think he needs, who's to say what's wrong? I don't know what he needs.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's very perplexing. But moving on to the other midfielder, we're going to go for Pape Matar Sarr. We have missed him over the last 3 weeks. Didn't play Villa, didn't play City, came on with about 7 minutes to go yesterday. And I thought he looked all right when he came on. So it'll be good to get his energy back into that midfield.
Yeah, Ange said on Friday, before the West Ham game, that Sarr was probably going to not make this game and be fit for Sunday. So I'm assuming he's maybe a tiny bit ahead of schedule because he obviously came off the bench yesterday and actually looked quite bright. So I'm hoping that means he's going to be fit to start on Sunday. So we're going to put him straight in. And I think, that energy will definitely help us. And all of a sudden, Bissouma, Sarr and Lo Celso has a bit more of that dynamic that we had at the beginning of the season. So we're going to go with that.
Yeah, back to the starting midfield without Maddison and just Lo Celso in there instead of him. But as you can see, Lo Celso will be the third man in midfield. I thought he had a positive display again against West Ham, and hopefully he can carry on that form this weekend. Yeah,
definitely one of our better players. The only worrying thing I would say is if Ange said it was a tactical decision because he wanted more legs in the centre. And if anyone has legs in the centre, it's Newcastle. So I'm just hoping he's not tempted to take him out in any way because I think we're going to need that creativity. We're going to need his kind of technical quality, which we're definitely lacking when he's not there, especially without Maddison anyway. So for sure, he must start for us. And we're going to need him.
So that's a midfield 3 of Bissouma, Sarr and Giovanni Lo Celso. Moving on to the right-hand side of the attack, we're going to go for Dejan Kulusevski. I mean, if it was up to me personally, I'd like to see him back in the middle. I thought he was very wasteful out on the right side against West Ham, but hopefully he can have a better performance against good left back in Livramento.
Yeah, Livramento's in good form. Obviously, he come back from a long-term injury as well, so Kulu's going to have his work cut out as well. Livramento is an inverted fullback, so whether he's going to be ready for Kulu cutting inside as well, that could be an issue. But hopefully, Kulu can be a bit more effective and efficient in this game.
And the number 9 position, maybe it's more hope than anything else, but I got to believe that Heung-min Son is going to be playing this weekend because with a half-fit Richarlison just coming back from injury, Alejo Valise, who really hasn't shown that much in the few cameo performances that he has done, we just need Sonny for this weekend massively.
Yeah, obviously it's a bit up in the air whether he's going to play. He says he's fine, so we're going to go with him starting. In a weird way, Lascelles and Shah are 2 physical centre-backs, but I could see him being quite sharp up against someone like Lascelles and nipping in ahead of him a few times. And obviously, Lascelles is big and physical. If you're asking him to win a header against him, it's going to be unlikely. But, if you're pulling a cutback and asking Son to step in front of him or something like that, I could see some opportunities there if Son's at sharper. So I could see Son getting some joy if he's fit, but let's hope he's available.
And then to finish off the starting 11 on the left-hand side, we're going to see Brennan Johnson, and we just need to see more cutting edge from him in the final third.
Definitely. Most likely I'll get up against Trippier. It's going to be a difficult game. He's going to have to make sure that he's tracking back on Trippier as well, making sure Trippier is not getting any space because that's one of their main avenues of hurting the opposition is Trippier in the final third. So that's almost going to be as important in a way as taking on Trippier in this game. But if he can get at Trippier, obviously he's got tons of pace. Trippier's obviously turned into quite a good defender, but it doesn't mean he can't be got at. So hopefully Johnson can be confident and take him on.
You know what I wouldn't mind seeing? I wouldn't mind seeing that switched over. Johnson on the right and Kulu on the left, get their favoured foot on the outside and start attacking them from the outside. I don't know why we haven't tried that just yet.
Yeah, I think it's more with Kulu, I guess. I think it's more Kulu who doesn't want to play on the left, probably, I would assume.
But you just got to play wherever's best for the team. And I would like to see it at least tried once, you know what I mean? Just to see what it's like. But look, what do I know? Let's trust Ange Postecoglou. But let's run through the team one more time. This is our predicted lineup for the Newcastle game this week. Ken Vicario in goal, Pedro Porro right back, Destiny Udogie left back, Romero and Davis as the back two, Bissouma Sarr and Giovanni Celso in the middle three, with Johnson and Kulusevski supporting Heung-min Son. In terms of our score predictions, funnily enough and strangely enough and maybe deluded enough, I am going for 3-1 to Tottenham Hotspur. Sim is going for 2-1 to Tottenham. Let me know in the comment section below, do you agree with our predicted lineup? If not, put yours in the comment section below and let me know your score predictions as well. Me and Sim once again will be in that stadium with you guys for the game on Newcastle. And a lot of you are seeing in the comments saying, don't let Ben and Sim go together. Every time Ben and Sim go together, we lose. One of you has to be in the studio to
is that what's
to predict the win. Time? Apparently, yeah, that's what's going on. Every time we go together, we lose. And when one of us in the
studio for Chelsea, so that's when it all started to go wrong.
It's true. And I was in the studio for City.
So you should be in
Maybe the I should stay in the studio. But don't worry, I'll be in the studio a lot more with you guys for the away games anyway. But anyway, thank you everyone for joining us today. We'll be back on Sunday for the